I'm somewhere around Mandurah and I just saw something and I had to turn around and stop the car. You won't believe it. Hello, is it beautiful? And me being me, I thought, wow, how about I make a cute little cooking video with these kangaroos in the background? Yeah, in the background, that's the keyword here, because I did not realize how tame some of these kangaroos actually are. Yeah, he's so cute! Today I'm going to attempt making apple crumble in my Instant Pot. Of course powered by the Bluetti Elite 100 V2 that Bluetti sent to me for testing. So let's test it. No, I can't give you any. Sorry, mate. No, it's all mine. I've never had to cook with a chopping board that kangaroo just stepped on. We are starting with 100% charge. This thing makes absolutely no noise. I'm fascinated by that. I just want to show you the difference in noisiness between the old power station and the new one. With the old one, the fan would always kick in when I was charging it, even if it was just 100 watt hours, or if I was using the AC power. And I'm not gonna lie, it didn't really bother me much, but when I got the solar panel on the roof, suddenly the power station would be getting charged early in the morning when I was still sleeping, and it would be humming, and you know how much I hate noise when I try to sleep. With the new power station, I don't even know it's already working in the morning. I only hear a little ping sound as it turns on. And that's all it does. I am yet to hear the fan of that power station. I have to put raisins in it because that's what I'm used to from the Czech Republic. Strudel with raisins. Cinnamon. And a little bit of flour. A little bit of sugar. I will use my trusty dog bowl. We have apple. Now you may wonder, where is the crumble? I decided to cheat because in the Instant Pot the crumble would not be crunchy. So I got a crumble that's already finished. Now I wish I had bought the custard that they have at Loving Hut. That's the one thing I really miss from New Zealand, because in New Zealand you had this custard in almost every supermarket, and here it's impossible to get. So I got some coconut yogurt instead. There we go, fine dining with kangaroos. Who's so friendly? Are you gonna bite me? I have stewed the apples for about 25 minutes and my power station went down to 81%. When I cook things like soups, stews and curries in my Instant Pot, I usually use around 20% of battery. Hot water for my tea, coffee or potato mash uses 4 to 5%. And my beloved semolina porridge takes 10%. That's all for my cooking today. And of course, this kangaroo pooped on me carpet. Is anyone surprised? I would love to give you something, but I can't. I can't. You see what I did there, right? With me carpet. That's probably the very first time I have used me instead of my. But I hear it quite often. I had a lady truck driver colleague in the mines and she would always be like, "Oh, I have to wash me truck." And it would always make me giggle. I don't know why, but it's just so cute. It's the weekend, so it was a very quiet night in here. Let's go to Mandurah Sunday market.
said you do. I said you do.
Well, that was a bit disappointing. There was no veggies and no food.
Come on, soft, turn the key and cooler on. Push a pause for relief. Free pass, you don't even have to ask to be the cat.
Okay, I just bought pants.
Someday.
I have survived a second night in Mandurah. It may not be as hard to self-camp in here as I thought. So that's good. And I thought today I could tell you a little bit of a story about my ring, because it does come up sometimes in the comments. Some people accusing me of just pretending to be single. I don't know for what, to make men to watch my channel, maybe. But I don't know if I would be that dumb to forget to take it off if that was the case. Did you know that there are countries where wedding rings are actually worn on the right hand? And it's not the case of the Czech Republic, so yeah, you are right. That should signify marriage. When I first moved to Austria, they wear it on the right. So I thought, I was young and naive, and I thought all the men are not taken. And I was like pretty much baffled. Even my colleagues and my boss, they were all single or at least not married. I even was in a situationship with someone who wore a ring on the right hand. And I did ask him once about that. I was like, what's that? Is that a wedding ring? And he was like, no, it's not. And yeah, as I said, it was a situationship, so I wasn't invested enough to investigate any further. I just took his word for it. But of course, it turned out later that he was married. And just out of curiosity, I looked online to see what countries are actually wearing the ring on the right hand. And it's Austria, Germany, Poland, Norway, Bulgaria, Lithuania, sorry guys, Russia and Ukraine. So it's actually quite a lot. Even when I worked as a bartender in New Zealand, I was giving a beer to a guy and he pointed at my finger and he was like, ah, that's why you stayed, ah. And I'm like, what? No, it's not what you think it is. I just honestly think that the ring finger is called a ring finger for a reason, because the ring looks the best on it. Or maybe we are the most used to it, I'm not sure. Maybe you could get away with this one, but surely not these ones. And so I just wear it wherever the hell I want, because I am free. And if it keeps some men away, I know that a lot of men don't get put off by that at all. But if it keeps some people away, that's good, because I have no interest in dating anyway. And every time somebody says, ah, it's a wedding ring, I'm just like thinking, you see that? Like, how cheap do they think I am? I mean, I'm not a gold digger, but surely I would expect a bit more expensive ring. This ring is like a silver $20 ring that I bought on a street market in Peru. Where was it? I think it was in Pisac. I didn't know it at that time, but this is actually a coca leaf. I don't know, I'm not such a fan of coke, but but I just like the shape. If that was to signify marriage, I would like at least a material that would likely last for my whole life. Although I did buy that ring in, I think, 2020, and so it already outlasted any of my relationships, so maybe it would have been sufficient. Good morning. I have survived another night, 4th night in Mandurah. No, I didn't sleep here, but I might try, because at this stage I'm starting to think freedom camping here is actually quite easy. Knock, touch wood, I have to touch wood.
every empty spreadsheet line.
Good morning. So I tried to sleep here by the channel. Big mistake, never again. There was traffic all night long, on the road and on the water as well. People running. I think my biggest mistake was that I left my windows open. I was too tired to go and shut them, and I hardly ever sleep with the windows open, which has been pointed out on this channel many times that it's a big mistake because of high CO2 concentrations, and I never really cared about that because I shut my windows mainly because I'm scared of spiders. And let me tell you, if a large spider got into this van, I would be setting it up on fire and I would be homeless for sure. Once I had a spider in the corner there, I was ready to jump out of the car. And I tried to open the window and thankfully it got out by itself. If it stayed in the van, I don't know what I would have done. But another large reason why I shut my windows is the noise. The difference between windows open and windows closed is actually huge for me. And I just like quiet. I don't think I can really see any effects of the CO2. The van still feels quite drafty. My air vents are open, even in the back. So I think some air still gets in, even though the windows are closed. I have to go to the bathroom. Yeah. Today is gonna be one of the days when you can play games and read books and not feel guilty about not going out. I love it. No fine. Good.
I will see the whole deal through today. I've got better things to do. Okay, to leave a little bit undone. Leave the cat in the sun.
There is one more thing I want to talk about. Firstly, huge shout out to DJ Lakesy and Van Solo for their super generous super thanks. I really appreciate them and your kindness means the world to me. But at the same time, it made me revisit a subject that I've been going back and forth about for a while, and that's whether the super thanks button should even exist on my channel. Because I have a feeling that you guys do not know that when you send a super thanks to a creator, 30% of it gets kept by YouTube. The other day, not that long ago, my friend Thomas sent me $5 for a coffee, just so, like as a joke. And because we know each other in real life, I was like, what the hell did you do that for? Do you know that YouTube keeps 30% of it? And he goes like, of course I didn't know that. If I knew, I would have never sent it. That's ridiculous. And I feel like a lot of people would feel the same about it. And I just found out another thing. It gets even worse. If you pay via an Apple device, Apple keeps 30% of it. Are you kidding me? It's not even that it makes me mad that I'm not getting all the money you sent. It's more about that you are probably unaware that you are paying big chunks of money to these companies that have enough money. And that's why a lot of creators are using the Buy Me a Coffee link, because Buy Me a Coffee only charges 5%, plus there is some small credit card fee. I have had that link in my channel description for a while now. Sometimes when I do not forget, I also put it in the video description, but nobody has ever used it because nobody ever reads descriptions, and I have not mentioned it because it kind of feels like begging for me, and you don't owe me anything. I'm not struggling, so why should you be donating money? I don't know. But obviously some of you feel generous sometimes, and that's why I got the link, because I want to give you that option if you really want to, without lining someone else's pockets. And here I am turning the super thanks off. I want to say a genuine, heartfelt thank you to everyone who ever used it. It truly means so much to me that there are people out there who want to support what I do. But as we talked about, I just can't shake that guilty feeling because of where the money actually goes. So this feels like the right thing to do. And of course, every little donation helps me to run this channel, especially now since my AdSense earnings went down drastically. Like I went from $1,000 in September, yay, to somewhere around $130 a month for the last 4 months. So that's not even covering my fuel, but patience. I just spent $650 on a new tablet which I use for editing. I do not have a computer. I always edit on my tablet. Now my old tablet is 6 years old, so it lasted me a very long time and it still runs perfectly, but the battery is still great. I love the screen, the AMOLED screen is great, but the memory is only 128 gigabytes, and I do feel that it's not very sufficient, especially when I now edit videos every single week. And now look at that screen, like watching movies on this feels like I'm watching movies on a big TV now, and also playing games on it. I'm a bit of a gaming girl. I love to play Company of Heroes and also Mindustry. Yeah, so that's something I didn't have to buy just yet, especially now that I am on a work break. But I happened to be window shopping at JB Hi-Fi, and yeah, this somehow fell into my bag. I don't even know how.